covering West Michigan to protect and alert you. This is News Channel 3, live at 11.
Good evening, I'm Callie Rainey. Thanks for joining us tonight. Police say car thefts have increased over the past few months here in West Michigan. They say that's because it's easier for thieves to break in and steal someone's car, even if it's locked. News Channel 3's Trisha McCauley tells us how one local woman had her car stolen multiple times.
One Portage woman says she was doing everything right. She didn't leave anything valuable in the car and it was locked. But that didn't stop someone from stealing her car not once, but twice, right out of her driveway, even attempting a third time, but failed. Since September, Kalamazoo police reported 148 car thefts and nearly 200 vehicle break-ins. Neighboring police departments are also reporting an uptick during the COVID-19 pandemic, especially for keyless cars. Police say thieves are using a device that can access a key fob's signal that they can then use to unlock a car and start it. Chantel Blodgett of Portage says that's how someone was able to steal her Chevy Camaro right out of her driveway multiple times.
It's violating. I've never, obviously I've never had anything like this happen before, so at first I was even second guessing myself. I look out there and my car is gone and
Blodgett says after her car was stolen twice, she installed a wheel lock to deter thieves. It wraps around the steering wheel and brake pedal. She says she also put a camera on the dashboard and caught the alleged thieves in action as they attempted to steal her car for the third time, but they were unsuccessful.
Whoa. They got a wheel bar.
Blodgett says she wants to warn other people to be extra cautious.
You think that you're safe by leaving your vehicle locked and taking your possessions out, and you have your vehicle, your keys inside in your possession, and that's not the case. It's very sad. It's very unfortunate that we can't even keep our own possessions safe by doing the right thing.
Blodgett says she was able to give her car back quickly both times with only minor damages.
And it scraped around the rims.
She says she's still concerned her car could be stolen again.
I am worried every day that, if I go to work, I go somewhere that if it's gonna be there, and you shouldn't have to worry about that in your own home.
Blodgett says she gave police the dash cam video and had her car checked for fingerprints, but police say it could take a few months to process. She says she wants answers and her peace of mind back. In Portage, Trisha McCauley, News Channel 3.
Taking a live look now over a damp and chilly downtown Kalamazoo. Meteorologist Will Haney is in the Weather Alert Center. Will, tomorrow will be pretty similar as to today.
Yeah, Callie, especially in the morning, mostly cloudy skies. A few rain snow showers, although not nearly as widespread or as steady as what we saw earlier in the day. Some big globs of snowflakes coming down early on. Here is the view right now, though, in South Haven. No precipitation, but the wind's starting to pick up a little bit from the south-southwest. You can see some waves starting to crash over the pier. The current wind speed in South Haven likely around 10 miles per hour. I would say maybe a little bit more at the immediate lakeshore. Satellite and radar, though, there is a weak disturbance pivoting through to our north. It's right now sliding through the UP, bringing some scattered rain snow showers north of I-96 right now. Our temperatures situated on average, I would say, in the middle 30s, but there are some outliers. 33 in Battle Creek, 37 in Holland, even 45 degrees right now in Muskegon. That's likely due to the water temperature. It's actually in the upper 40s still, so that water warmed air coming right off of Lake Michigan. Here's high temperatures the next couple days, chilly right around 40, but then we're back into the low 50s later this week. Good timing for Thanksgiving. We're going to be talking about a cloudy day tomorrow and then a rain snow mix on the way again on Tuesday. We'll detail all of that and break down any impacts. Who could see a light dusting coming up in just a few minutes?
Wow, those 50s are really going to feel good.
Yeah, especially after the next few days.
All right, thanks, Will.
Yeah.
Well, the grades are in for the 2020 March of Dimes report card, ranking the health of moms and babies across the United States. You can see here, this year Michigan received a C-, which dropped from a C last year.
One of the most compelling finding, again, this year was the disproportion in terms of race and ethnicity. We found that there's a tremendous amount of challenges when we talk about equity in terms of maternal infant health. Clearly, if you're a Black person in this country, you are 3 times more likely to die as a result of childbirth.
That was the Chief Medical and Health Officer for March of Dimes, Dr. Rahul Gupta. From Michigan, he says this year's report card shows 1 out of 10 babies born in Michigan are preterm. He says there's 60% higher preterm birth for African Americans. He says in Michigan, about 2 babies die every single day before reaching their first birthday, and it's 3 times that for African American babies.
We recognize that our nation is undergoing a severe maternal and infant health crisis, which is both, worsening, but also amongst developed nations, we are still amongst the most dangerous places for a person to give birth.
Gupta says the report card is meant to raise awareness and encourage people to try to improve the outcome for mothers and infants. He says we can do that by having practical, viable, impactful policy and practice solutions to help eliminate the disparities. To learn more about the solution, just head to our website, WWMT.com, or check out the hashtag #BlanketChange. Tonight, we're learning we could know more about who President-elect Joe Biden plans to pick for key cabinet posts as soon as this Tuesday. But there's a whole lot the Biden team isn't able to do. With roadblocks, they say the Trump administration is responsible for leaving in place. Christine Frizzell is in Washington, D.C. tonight. She explains why some say the delay could put national security at risk.
Well, you know what? The voters have spoken.
2 weeks after the election was called for Joe Biden, the chorus of Republican voices is growing louder, urging President Trump to step aside.
Is it finally time for this to end?
Yes, elections have consequences, and we cannot continue to act as if something happened here that didn't happen.
Following a federal court's decision to dismiss a Trump campaign lawsuit in Pennsylvania this weekend, Republican Senator Pat Toomey in a statement said President Trump has exhausted all plausible legal options to challenge the result in the state, also congratulating President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris on their victory. Others saying at the very least, the General Services Administration should allow the Biden team access to information.
I frankly do think it's time to, it's past time to start a transition, to at least cooperate with the transition. I'd rather have a president that has more than 1 day to prepare.
Some sounding alarm bells about national security, pointing out fears some intelligence may have slipped through the cracks during the contested 2000 election. The terrorist attacks of 9/11 occurred less than 8 months after President George W. Bush was sworn in.
Perhaps the most imminent concern is a domestic threat, the coronavirus raging across this country. And with talks on a new round of relief now stalled on Capitol Hill, some on President-elect Joe Biden's team now warn the process of distributing vaccines could be hampered as well.
Our transition isn't getting access to agency officials to help develop our plans, and there's a lot of focus on that vaccine rollout plan that's going to be critical in the early days of a Biden presidency. We have no access to that.
Every day of delay will translate into more deaths.
With President-elect Biden and his team pushing forward as much as possible, and the number of COVID-19 cases in our country alone now surpassing 12 million, growing calls to put politics aside. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
Happening tomorrow, the Kalamazoo Public Library is moving to curbside delivery only. The library is offering curbside delivery Monday through Saturday. You can place a hold online or over the phone, then pick it up from the safety of your vehicle or walk-up service.
We also want to provide a really needed, necessary service for our beloved patrons. And there are a lot of them out there who still count on library books and movies and audiobooks. And it just makes sense. And we have the abilities to still do that safely. So that's what we're doing.
Now, this only applies to the central location and the Oshtemo and Eastwood branches. The Washington Square and Alma Powell branches will stay closed. A unique collaboration between Western Michigan University students and Pawpaw's St. Julian Winery is bringing wine and college education together. The partnership started with a student-run wine brand called Bronconess, and a new product is behind this project. News Channel 3's Lexi Petrovich explains.
Bring out the bubbly. How can we bring a product to Western Michigan that supports Western students and can be supported by Western alumni? And that answer was wine.
Western Michigan University's student-run wine brand is launching a new product, Bronconess Peach Bubbly.
We started out with the bubbly peach, and that's going to be well received in the marketplace because it's a great product.
Bronconess already has 3 wine products on store shelves, but the new Peach Bubbly was done in collaboration with St. Julian Winery.
The oldest winery in Michigan, we're the largest winery in Michigan. My grandfather started this company in 1921. It's been in our family for 100 years.
Our partnership with St. Julian has really been mutually beneficial for the both of us. They're able to expand their product line, and we're also able to learn from industry professionals.
WMU leadership and business strategy students created Bronconess. They say their product line is one of a kind.
I have not heard of any program in the U.S., let alone the world, that students have actually worked to release their own wine product. This is education that honestly is above an internship level experience.
Every Bronconess wine purchase made helps a WMU student with their college education. All proceeds go towards student scholarships, and so far, more than $35,000 has been raised. Local wine.
I can't wait to see what else we do throughout our future.
Serving a big purpose. Reporting in Kalamazoo, Lexi Petrovich, News Channel 3.
Pop the bubbly indeed. Well, Bronconess wine can be purchased at more than 100 locations across the state, and it can also be found online. Well, he is no stranger to the streets of Kalamazoo, and he is working to keep the city safe. Tonight, we're hearing why Kalamazoo Public Safety Chief Vernon Coakley believes a simple conversation can be life-changing.
All of us here at News Channel 3 are working.
Thank you for turning to News Channel 3 at 11. The news continues right now.
It's not his first interview, and it certainly won't be his last. But tonight, News Channel 3's Erica Moke is helping us get to know a little more about Kalamazoo's new public safety chief and why he believes simple conversation is a catalyst for positive change in Kalamazoo.
The physical distance between protesters and police shows a divide in cities across the country and in Kalamazoo.
We here for justice!
Then Assistant KDPS Chief Vernon Coakley crosses the police line this summer, taking a knee and a stand with people protesting police killings, brutality, and racial injustice.
But we as a community have to come together.
That's him in the center of it all.
We gotta stop this. I understand.
Trying to close the divide. Today, about 8 weeks into his new job as chief of KDPS and on a break from patrolling, Chief Coakley is at the center of the produce aisle at Park Street Market, talking.
Was to keep it safe.
Listening.
And it must have been you then who said, you know, come and walk with me, I'll walk with you.
And finding out what makes an impression.
You were almost in tears.
Yes.
And that moved me to tears.
Well, thank you.
That's not something you hear every day. Not at a time in this country when conflict between police and community appears to be escalating. To help change that, the city's top cop is putting communication and transparency at the top of his priority list, with both the people in his department
Excuse me.
and the people his department serves.
But if I said to you, my 3 goals is to keep Kalamazoo safe, strengthen relationships, and ensure communication, what would you say?
I think that's perfect.
Okay.
Couldn't ask for anything better.
Okay.
For the more than 75,000 people living in the city of Kalamazoo, Chief Coakley says he wants nothing but the best, but acknowledges the current pandemic hasn't been easy on the area. COVID-19 numbers are spiking, businesses are struggling, jobs have been lost, and gun crimes in Kalamazoo have gone up.
Am I concerned? I'm concerned if we don't hold people accountable for what they do. That's what I'm concerned about. Because we're going to keep this, and I promise that, we're going to keep this city safe. We are. And so with that, we just have to continue to hold ourselves accountable.
He's already acting on his promise to protect by adding to his department of over 200 men and women. And he's not doing it from behind a desk.
We need you.
He's doing it from right here, on the very streets we're walking on.
Hiring diverse and culturally competent people from our community and outside.
One of those positions is a community collaborator to help facilitate more dialogue between people and police.
Community is all of us. You know, it's not us against them. That's the main thing. It's not us against them or them against us.
Vernon Coakley has already made history by being named the first black man to serve as chief of the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety. However, it's his relentless pursuit to strengthen and unify the city that he hopes will make a lasting impression.
That we all work together for the same goal, and that's prosperity, equity, diversity, equality for the city of Kalamazoo. That's what I want to be known for. And it ain't about my glory, it's about the people that live here. That's honestly what I want.
On special assignment, Erica Moke, News Channel 3.
One church in West Michigan is stepping up to make sure families have what they need this Thanksgiving. This weekend, Fresh Fire AME Church in Kalamazoo handed out food boxes. Each box had a turkey, produce, canned goods, and everything else needed to put together a Thanksgiving meal. Church leaders say it's important for them to do this, especially now during a pandemic.
As Christians, we wanted to make sure we did what the Bible told us to do. For when I was hungry, you gave me food, and when I was thirsty, you gave me drink. So it's a church responsibility to take on the task of feeding people that are hungry.
We're doing two things. We're feeding the sheep. We're giving them their physical food. And prayerfully, when COVID is over with, they will find us and come and worship with us so we can feed them their spiritual food.
Spiritual food, I like that. Well, the church used to cook a meal for people at the Kalamazoo Gospel Mission, but that just isn't possible because of COVID-19. Usually they feed about 40 churches. This year, they were able to feed 150 families.
Community in action. You love to see that. Here's the view right now in Bangor. Things drying out after a rain-snow mix worked its way through earlier in the day there. As far as the rest of us right now, though, we're seeing just mostly cloudy skies. There have been a few breaks in the cloud cover. There is a weak disturbance sliding through, and it has actually a very weak front associated with it. That is driving just some scattered showers a little bit farther north. As we zoom in a little bit closer, right now up in Ottawa County, just a little bit east of Robinson Township, you can see this band of some showers. There could be a rain-snow mix in there. A lot of times when we see those oranges and yellows in the specific setup that we're in, a lot of times actually melting snow, it actually shows up a little bit brighter on radar because that radar beam is detecting a bigger droplet. And so I think that's what's going on here. That's something called bright banding. So that's likely a rain-snow mix falling right along I-96 between Grand Rapids and out towards, say, Ottawa County. So here is hour by hour overnight. We'll see more of that. Just these very light areas of rain-snow mix and very, very isolated, nowhere near the blanket of precipitation we saw this morning. So by around 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're starting off cloudy, temperatures middle 30s. We see low 40s on the map by around lunchtime. Still that blanket of cloud cover, though. We will stay dry tomorrow with some breaks in the clouds developing late. We'll hold on to see if that sunshine breaks on through those clouds before sunset. I feel like we've been unlucky these last couple times we've been forecasting that. It just happens like an hour too late and we don't get to enjoy that sun. But by around 8 p.m. tomorrow night, more confident that we will be completely starting to see a clear sky, and that will hold until late tomorrow night. But not for long because more clouds build in on Tuesday. Relatively cool these next couple days. Our average high is 44. We're going to be even below that for a high temperature, but nice rebound in the temperature department for the second half of this week. There is a 70% chance of that mixed bag of rain and snow on Tuesday. All rain, though, on Wednesday. That's why it's green. As we look at Friday into Saturday, that's another round of some rain. But let's first talk about this next weather maker on the way. This is Tuesday. Notice this is lunchtime. Initially starting as some snow. I think it could transition to a rain-snow mix before all rain late Tuesday night into Wednesday. There's the system. It pushes on through during the daytime on Wednesday. So that's where we're going to see the steadiest and most widespread rain. It shouldn't be too heavy, but the sort of thing where the whole day looks pretty soggy. Our future snowfall product, this is a very, very light dusting, if anything, in the very lightest shade of blue. I think if anyone sees maybe up to about a ½ inch, it's going to be along and north of I-96. That's going to be by Tuesday afternoon and evening before we switch over to rain, so the impact won't last long, and I don't really expect much impact there. Here's your Thanksgiving. We'll top off around 50 degrees, not as much sunshine as prior thinking, but still the chance for a few breaks in those clouds late in the day. Similar actually to tomorrow, just warmer. As far as tonight, 34, the overnight low. The wind is actually shifting a little bit. It'll be northwest tomorrow, picking up too at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. But yeah, 41 the high. But just keep in mind, our average high is 44, so that's really not that far off from what we consider typical or average for this time of year. You may pull out a group 7-day forecast. There's the rain snow icon on Tuesday, the rain Wednesday, then pretty smooth sailing as we head into next weekend, and temperatures a little bit nicer too.
Yeah, I'll take it. We're kind of getting a little bit of everything this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing too crazy, no like severe weather, no insane winter storms or anything, but a mixed bag for sure.
All right, well, that snow was really pretty this morning.
It was big old flakes.
They were.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready for it.
I could use some.
After Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Will. The Lions visited the Panthers this afternoon. Luke Edwards tells us which jungle cat came away with a win.
What do kids want?
Hi, everybody. You know how the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, this picture is worth however many words it takes to describe the Lions' offensive debacle against the Panthers this afternoon. This picture represents what happened just way too many times. Matthew Stafford getting sacked. The Lions entered the day with a chance to get to 500 against a Carolina team who was without their starting quarterback and running back. You'd think maybe it'd be the Lions defense getting the shutout today. That didn't happen. In fact, Panthers score on their second drive of the game. Mike Davis from a yard out. Former Western Michigan Bronco Taylor Moton getting the spiking honors in the end zone. Lions only down a score at the midway point, but then P.J. Walker, who is that, you ask? Well, he was a quarterback in the XFL before getting signed by Carolina. He finds Curtis Samuel to double the Panthers' lead, and the Lions had a chance to cut into the deficit a couple of times. Stafford is sacked like he was 5 times today. Matt Prater missed a 51-yard field goal. A touchdown was called back. And the Lions were shut out for the first time in Matthew Stafford's career. The last time they were shut out was in 2009. Dante Culpepper and Drew Stanton were blanked against Green Bay. Head coach Matt Patricia, good luck explaining this one.
You know, we gotta go out and we gotta coach. We gotta coach a lot better and get things right, and we gotta go play better. So, you know, unfortunately, we got a short week here. We're gonna have to learn quick, and we gotta get going. But you know, just really didn't get it started here very well from a team standpoint, and you know, we gotta go do better. So.
It wasn't so much the game plan as it was our execution. You know, it was both run and pass. We just weren't efficient enough to get them out of it. You know, and you know, it's every defensive coordinator's, you know, dream to be up 17 late in the game and being able to dial up every fun blitz you can ever think of.
It won't be hard to put this one in the rearview mirror, but they have to do it quickly as they host Houston on Thanksgiving. That game will be right here on News Channel 3 Thursday, kickoff at 12:30. How about some happier news? If you're a Michigan fan, at least, if you fell asleep last night and missed the ending to the Wolverines-Rutgers game, it took 3 overtimes to find a winner. Quinn Nordin and Rutgers' Valentino Ambrosio both missing field goals in the first overtime, and the 2 trade scores in the second overtime. And then Michigan able to find the end zone in triple overtime. They get an interception, and they cap off a 17-0 rally as they go on to win 48-42. The Wolverines will host Penn State Saturday at noon. Will and Callie will have more after the break.
The challenges schools face.
Tomorrow, mostly dry, a little chilly too. Cloud cover in play, 41, and then 40 for Tuesday. Rain snow mix developing, switching over to all rain late Tuesday and into Wednesday.
All right, so pack those rain boots tomorrow and an umbrella.
Yeah, you'll need them these next several.
And a jacket.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
We all had plans